Today's video will be the road trip after purchasing the new GR86 Hakone Edition. We will be driving from Amarillo, Texas, point of purchase, back to Denver, Colorado. So I've driven her about 10 miles now. My first impressions are it's very smooth, handles great, and has a lot of power for being stock. It really does go. The curve's good here. I'm on a pretty curvy highway here. We're going back a different way than what we went when we went to Amarillo. I'm not quite sure what highway this is, but we're going over to I-25 here. And it's got some a mountain, kind of some formations here. Real nice, beautiful southwestern formations here. Awesome look here in the curvy roads. So I'm going to get back to driving through the curvies here. But man, do I love this car so far. It's going to be a great addition to the Works Garage fleet. Very southwestern, almost reminds me of New Mexico through here. Very beautiful again if you like the southwestern style look. There is some nuances with this car that I'm gonna have to get used to or try to figure out. In the Mazdas, you can adjust the lane keep assist system to vibrate instead of making noises when you come over towards the solid line. This car is beeping. I would like to see if there's a way to make it vibrate in the steering wheel. Not really into the beeping. Maybe I'll just turn the beeping down. I'm gonna go back to driving here, but my first impressions so far in this trip is this is a awesome driver's car. Again, it's not replacing any of my cars, it's being added to the fleet. Still driving along here, enjoying the ride. Now we have come to a flatter area, more flat now, out of that little hilly area that I was showing you, and we're still in Texas. We're about 31 or 30 miles to the New Mexico line. I have been varying the speed, the RPMs, because everything I've read and watched, some say there's no break-in needed on the modern day new cars. Some say there is, so I'm just going off of the ones that say there is. So I've been varying the RPMs. I have not used the cruise control. At the speeds I'm running, about 75, 80-ish across here. I've been varying with 5th to 6th. We're going through some small towns, so I've been able to go in the lower gears when it needs me to go a little slower. But I've been varying RPMs by varying the gears. From a video I watched, and I'll put a link to it in the description, he recommended about the first 250 miles to vary the RPMs. So that's what I've been doing along here. And I checked the oil. We're now at 100 miles and we haven't used anything quite yet. I know I've had other new cars and you tend to use a little bit of oil in the beginning, about a quart or a half a quart, until the motor breaks in. Not sure how this Subaru motor will be, if it does that or not. But everything here has been enjoyable. Really still loving it. We'll check back with you in about 26 miles or 28-ish when we cross into New Mexico. Okay, so we're getting ready to cross the line here into New Mexico.
In half a mile, continue on US 87 North, entering New Mexico. Continue on US 87 North, entering New Mexico.
Okay, so it looks like the speed limit goes down. We're now in New Mexico. Don't know if you've seen the sign or not there, but we are now in New Mexico. In Texas, this highway was 75, so we could run 80. Here it is only 70. But we have made it to the New Mexico line. Another cool rock formation coming out of the ground over there. Really cool just to see those out of nowhere when it's pretty flat off in the distance there. Some of the things I've noticed about this car here is, again, if you have one of these or know anything about these, if you can comment below. I haven't had a chance to look through the settings much. I want to know if the lane departure warning can be vibrate and not beep at you. Comparing this stereo to the Miata stereo with Bose, this stereo doesn't even have a subwoofer. Way more bass out of this. There's a setting called virtual bass, and then there's a sound enhancement setting. If you turn those to medium, this stereo just sounds more premium than the Miata stereo. And I've even upgraded the speakers. Oh, the Miata has a subwoofer supposedly in the passenger footwell up towards the front of it. Not downing the Miata because I love it too, and I will be keeping it on the channel, but I'm just comparing some of the things here. The shifter is nice and notchy, but it has a little bit of a throw, and I think it's a little tall for my liking. Even the stock Miata shifter feels just a little more solid. So that's where the Miata wins there, is the shifter's just a little bit better, a little more refined. I believe the Miata shifter, or I know the Miata shifter goes straight into the transmission because I've changed it to Craven Speed short throw, and I could see the fluid when I took the plate off. This here I think has a small linkage because the car's a little bit longer and the motor's up a little further. So that's where the Miata wins in the shifter department. Like I was saying, this has a way better radio or stereo, way better, sounds better, just way better, and that one's supposed to be a Bose. I guess it's because of the size of the car and the weight difference. Other than that, both cars pretty much have the same, I want to say, road noise. Maybe the Miata's a little louder because of the soft top. But both, if you're looking for something quiet, neither car is quiet. My Mazda 3 blows this out of the market for being quiet in the cab. But that's not what this car is not meant to be, luxury and quietness. So I'll come back at you when I cross the line here into Colorado and let you know. And I believe we're going to go up a pass called Raton Pass. So when I get closer to that pass, I may show you some footage out the window. But again, if you can see, I'm not sure how this GoPro style camera does with distance, but more of those formations or little mountainish things. These aren't flat top, like rock flat top looking. They're more peaked. Looks like it snowed through here in the past week or so. Kind of see some chemical in the center of the road, like salt or whatever. And then you can see to the side the snow, of course. So, way off in the distance, you can see Raton Pass, about 15 miles out, I think, or a little more, but you can see some snow-capped mountains. So we're getting real close here. So we've now made it to the little town of Raton, New Mexico. Looks like they do not have much here. Kind of hard to film and shift. Should have put this on a helmet cam or a head cam, I guess. Just don't quite like the point of view. It makes it so high. This is now getting on I-25 at Raton. We're going to go to Trinidad for our next gas stop. Haven't been doing the greatest on gas. Breaking it in, varying the speeds here. About 20-ish is what I figured on miles a gallon, which I guess is decent, but that's because I'm up and down on the throttle and the motor ain't broke in. Kind of whack that I-25 is only 65 mile an hour when it's an interstate. I guess New Mexico, that's New Mexico for you. Colorado's 75, and I think Texas on there, some of their interstates is 80, 75 and 80. Whatever, I guess. If I had to guess here, and I got nothing telling me this, I think this is the start of Raton Pass. I guess it makes sense. Right out the outskirts of Raton, New Mexico, would be Raton Pass. I think I Googled this, and I think at the bottom of Raton Pass was around 5,000 feet, and at the top was 7,883. So I think it's like a 2,800 elevation gain with 3% incline. Not bad. So indeed, you do climb to get out of New Mexico and get into Colorado. Even though when you get on the other side into Colorado, it's not the really the Rocky Mountains. You're out on the flat again. So I don't know what they call this range here. Is it part of the Rocky Mountains? Comment below if you know. Looks like somewhere along the line we got a couple bugs. I didn't know as cold as it gets at night over in here there would be any bugs out, but the window's got a bug splatter with the clear brawl if there's any on it. I've been told I cannot wash it for at least a week because it's not curing as quickly because of the cold temperature. And the highways don't look the best here in New Mexico. It looks like they've patched a lot. Kind of hear it and feel it. I mean, they did patch them pretty good. I've had worse patches, but they are there. The potholes was there. Maybe it's 65 because we're on a pass. I'm thinking about that now. In the mountains, it does that. In Colorado, the speed varies. So unfortunately, I do not have my 360 camera on the trunk lid or anything like that, so there will not be any fancy rear car footage or anything. So at about 70 miles per hour and 6, you're a little bit above 3,000 RPM. So you're at the starting of the power band. I haven't had to downshift or anything to get up the hill here. You can tell they've had some chemical down here on the road. A lot of salt over to the, and gravel over to the side there. So unfortunately, I didn't have the camera on. We're now into Colorado. So it does look like part of the pass is either is on some of the New Mexico, some of the Colorado line. I was trying to drive the road safer and let go of the camera, get two hands on the wheel here. So I will get back at you at the bottom of the pass. Looks like this is the big city of Trinidad with a McDonald's, the downtown historic area. Looks like they have a Safeway grocery store. This used to be the sex change capital of the world. Sometime in the 90s, I believe the doctors all moved out, went to Los Angeles, California, but this used to be known as the sex change capital of the world. So we are now somewhere between Colorado Springs and Denver. You can kind of see it's getting the Castle Rock looking mountains that are almost flat on the top. Castle Rock has a famous flat top rock on the side of the city right at one of the exits. So yeah, I'm getting pretty close to home here. Been a very good trip here. Okay, so in case you've never been to Castle Rock, this is the famous Castle Rock I was trying to tell you about in the last part of the video. Not a very big city, does have a few things like a factory outlets, Walmart, King Soopers, which is our Kroger's, a Safeway, you know, which is our kind of like a Vons or Tom Thumbs, or Albertsons, all the same corporation. So this is the famous Castle Rock. I believe it has these little lights off of it in the night so airplanes know that it's there. And there's other formations around here that are kind of flattish, but nothing quite like that one. It looks like it's got a rock on it. See if I can get you a better view here. I made it home in the new GR86 Hakone Edition. All in all, it's a very good car. Rides very smooth as of now since it's not modified. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for coilovers or lowering or FIM because of the situation here in Denver. Kind of hard to drive the Miata at times. So I probably won't go quite as aggressive if I do something. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe. Have a great week.